Federal Reserve Cartel, the 8 families. The Four Horsemen of Banking, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup and Wells Fargo, own the Four Horsemen of Oil, Exxon Mobil, Royal Dutch/Shell, BP and Chevron Texaco, in tandem with Deutsche Bank, BNP, Barclays and other European old money behemoths. But their monopoly over the global economy does not end at the edge of the oil patch. According to Company 10K filings to the SEC, the Four Horsemen of Banking are among the top 10 stockholders of virtually every Fortune 500 corporation. 1. So who then are the stockholders in these money center banks? This information is guarded much more closely. My queries to bank regulatory agencies regarding stock ownership in the top 25 U.S. bank holding companies were given Freedom of Information Act status, before being denied on national security grounds. This is rather ironic, since many of the bank's stockholders reside in Europe. One important repository for the wealth of the global oligarchy that owns these bank holding companies is U.S. Trust Corporation, founded in 1853 and now owned by Bank of America. A recent U.S. Trust corporate director and honorary trustee was Walter Rothschild. Other directors included Daniel Davison of J.P. Morgan Chase, Richard Tucker of Exxon Mobil, Daniel Roberts of Citigroup and Marshall Schwartz of Morgan Stanley. 2. J. W. McAllister, an oil industry insider with House of Saud connections, wrote in the Grim Reaper that information he acquired from Saudi bankers cited 80% ownership of the New York Federal Reserve Bank, by far the most powerful Fed branch, by just 8 families, 4 of which reside in the U.S. They are the Goldman Sachs, Rockefellers, Lehmans, and Kuhn Loebs of New York, the Rothschilds of Paris and London, the Warburgs of Hamburg, the Lazards of Paris, and the Israel Moses Seifs of Rome. CPA Thomas D. Schaaf corroborates McAllister's claims, adding that 10 banks control all 12 Federal Reserve Bank branches. He names N.M. Rothschild of London, Rothschild Bank of Berlin, Warburg Bank of Hamburg, Warburg Bank of Amsterdam, Lehman Brothers of New York, Lazard Brothers of Paris, Kuhn Loeb Bank of New York, Israel Moses Seif Bank of Italy, Goldman Sachs of New York and J.P. Morgan Chase Bank of New York. Schaaf lists William Rockefeller, Paul Warburg, Jacob Schiff, and James Stillman as individuals who own large shares of the Fed. 3. The Schiffs are insiders at Kuhn Loeb. The Stillmans are Citigroup insiders, who married into the Rockefeller clan at the turn of the century. Eustace Mullins came to the same conclusions in his book The Secrets of the Federal Reserve, in which he displays charts connecting the Fed and its member banks to the families of Rothschild, Warburg, Rockefeller, and the others. 4. The control that these banking families exert over the global economy cannot be overstated and is quite intentionally shrouded in secrecy. Their corporate media arm is quick to discredit any information exposing this private central banking cartel as conspiracy theory. Yet the facts remain.